They're getting ready to get into action. Debbie Cho, who's going to be a member of the Pioneer team. Carol Penis-Meyer. This is Walt Harrison, Kenny Constable, trackside, the Cow Palace in San Francisco. The championship game, the big one, featuring the Pioneers. There they are. There's Buddy Atkinson Sr., their coach, 52, a man that will give his skaters everything he's got, and he expects to get the same in return. And he has proved it through the years as a skater, as a trainer, as a coach. He's turned out many championship clubs. He's trying to do the same thing with this Pioneer team. They trail right now as we move into the third period of play in the first half. It's the Bombers 13 and the Pioneers 11. A lot of stations, you'll see the last half immediately. Some you'll see it next week, but you'll get a chance to see this complete championship game. Don't forget, I'll have an interview at the end of the first half. Here we go. Pulliam was put down as she tried to move out of there. Blocked down by Joni Weston. Here, giving a whip. Koshu to her teammate, Candy Jones. So Jones is out on the jam for the Pioneers. They have the only jammer out, and they're controlling the head of the pack now, refusing to let a bomber get out of there. They're blocking in there. No bomber can break out on the play, so it's entirely a Pioneer offense this time. Candy Jones moving in the pack, dropping back there to block Rosetta Saunders and Dolores Tucker. They're blocking back there. Candy Jones trying to get through. Cannot get through that double block. Buddy Sr. running along the side of the infield, giving advice. Pack's moving away. Debbie Cho is down in the pack, and she's passed for a point. Even though they could not get by the double blockers, they're scoring points in there. Western's strategy in the first period and again in this is to go into that pack. If you can't move out Tucker and Saunders, then you go in the pack. Move out the weaker skaters. And the Pioneers go back in front, 14-13 off that blocking exhibition by Joni Weston. 9:34 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. The Pioneers now lead the Bombers by 1, 14-13. With me, Kenny Constable. You folks have read his column many, many times in Roller Derby Illustrated. He writes a fine column. Ken, why don't you call the next couple of jams?
Thank you, Walt. And I remember in the old Roller Derby Reporter when I was a youngster, I used to read your column.
Okay, I'll take over again.
Okay, the jammer's out on the play. The Pioneers the advantage 2-on-1. It's Peanuts Meyer for the Bombers, caught in the middle here. Trying to get the lead. Remember, you have to be in front if you want to cut the play off. And the Bombers get Rosetta Saunders out now in the chase. If Myers can stay in there long enough, she gets it. Both Pioneer jammers down. Rosetta Saunders going around the outside, and this suddenly becomes a bomber play, and they've got the pack high. Saunders through on the inside. And there are 3 bomber points. And that is a big play for the Bay Bombers. It puts them back in front of the Pioneers now, 16-14. And this game is a highly contested game right from the starting gun. The Bay Bombers, many, many seasons, the world champions. And the last 2 seasons were dethroned, looking to regain that glory here. And, of course, the Pioneers looking for it for the first time. And with Bud Atkinson Sr. as their new manager, they think they've got it.
You know, I can remember, Ken, if you want to make me old, but championship game here several years ago, about 10 years ago, 15,000 screaming fans. The Bombers were in the final against the Chicago Westerners, led by Hal Janowitz. Janowitz brought those Westerners and brought them the championship.
It was something that nobody expected to happen. You thought the Bay Bombers had that one hands down. But if determination counts, it can give you a winner. Debbie Cho battling for the lead on this jam right now. Terry Lewis, the Pioneer, trying to stay with her, put down, and now the Bombers the advantage. Cho in the lead. Francine Koshu gets rid of the secondary bomber. Weston puts Cho down. Francine Koshu trying to move in there now. Blocked out by Rosetta Saunders. Now Weston trying to lead the way, blocking on the inside. Koshu goes by for 1. Weston blocking in the pack. There goes Dolores Tucker. Francine Koshu moving all the way in. And the official ruling here. There are 3 Midwest Pioneer points on that play, and the Pioneers won't lay down. They come right back. The Pioneers take the lead away from the Bombers now. They lead it 17-16. Now, Bud Atkinson Sr. down on the infield wants more points. The Pioneers had a secondary jammer out there, Terry Lewis. Atkinson says while they were watching the lead jammer that his secondary got in for points. The officials say it wasn't the case. Remains 17-16. The Pioneers on top. Back reforming now. The Jammers start from the rear. Saunders and Weston, the two pivots up there, trying to open the door. And Francine Kosciu moving again for the Pioneers. Althea Gandy for the Bay Bombers. Two jams in a row for Francine Kosciu. Trying to outmaneuver Gandy, an elbow on the inside, and Gandy is put down. Now the Bombers without it. Now they break. Peanuts Meyer breaking out. A long way back, and she has company. Candy Jones is also out. Pioneers, the lead jammer moving on the rear of the pack now is Francine Kosciu. On defense for the Bombers, Rosetta Saunders. Saunders swinging those elbows back now. Weston trying to get an assist and a little Francine. Saunders trying to stay in the middle and break it up. And Kosciu still pinned on the outside. Bomber jammer Peanuts Meyer breaks through, falls it off. And there is one Bomber point. That's a big point for Peanuts Meyer as she ties this game up at 17-17.
I'd like to remind you, fans, if you like a game in your area, it has to have a non-profit aspect to it. We're talking about a possible benefit game, and the roller derby has skated many benefit games. And if you have an arena, stadium, gym that seats over 2,500 people, well, by golly, you could get a game there. Just write to bookings. Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604, and possibly you can arrange for a big benefit game in your town. Now, people writing in like that have resulted in games being scheduled in a lot of towns that never thought they'd get a chance to see a live game. They've had their chance, and a lot of money have been raised for some great and worthwhile causes. High school gyms, university gyms, they've skated in a lot of them around the country, and right now we got action on the track with 4:50 to go here in the third period of play, 17-17 to score. Debbie Cho out on the jam, 32 moving. She just put a block on Terry Lewis and pulled away. Terry Lewis in hot pursuit now. Coming up on the pack, Terry Lewis trying to move Debbie Cho out of there. Battling as they move on the pack now. Cutting in there, Saunders to do the blocking on Terry Lewis. Joni Weston skating in this game like she's the greatest skater in the world in the bank track. And she's had that reputation for years, and she lives up to it. Quite a gal, what a skater. Weston blocking on Debbie Cho. Saunders moving in Weston. Weston gets away from Saunders, leaves her on the rail. Buddy Sr. giving a whip from the inside off the track that time to Terry Lewis, who just decked. And there by Saunders. Debbie Cho looking for skating room. Joni Weston will not give her any room. 10 seconds of jamming time left. Terry Lewis up there moving again and hit by Saunders up near the rail. Saunders hits her again. Weston with a block on Debbie Cho puts her on the deck. That's it. Time runs out. No score on that jam. So it remains all tied up here 17-17 in this championship game in the Cow Palace in San Francisco with 3:45 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. There is the great Joni Weston. Boy, you can be proud of this gal. She is the greatest. We have time enough. We have time enough for plenty of jamming yet in this period. Both girls' team would like to hand over a lead to the men when they come out for that fourth and final period here in the first half. Don't forget, I'll have an interview at the end of the first half. And don't forget, you'll see the last half either immediately or you'll see it next week. But you'll get a chance to see this complete championship game.
3 minutes, 15 seconds. Back being reorganized. Jammers starting to the rear of the back. The squad whistles out. Again, those jammers trying to.
So here we go.
Peanuts Meyer, Bay Bombers on the move.
Here we go. Carol Peanuts Meyer is out for the Bombers, and with her Francine Kosciu. And also coming out for the Bombers, Linda Antonio. Carol Peanuts Meyer, Francine Kosciu, 55. Carol rides her into the rail, letting her teammate Antonio go by on the jam. But Kosciu with a good move gets by Carol Peanuts Meyer. She's in hot pursuit of Antonio, who's been blocked out by Joni Weston. Kosciu has the lead in the jam, and she cuts off the jam because there were two Bombers there. She immediately cut off the jam. So that killed the Bomber threat, leaving the score at 17-17 with 2:34 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. Hal Janowitz, the man I was talking about a little while ago, is here at the game. It was about 10 years ago. The Bombers skated the first round game. I think it was against the New York Chiefs. And what a battle. They were the two favorite teams. The next night, the Bombers had won the first night. They went in against the Chicago Westerners, coached by Hal Janowitz. And the Bombers were supposed to have a cakewalk to the title, and they never got in the game. The Westerners controlled that game from the beginning to the end, and it was about 15,000 disappointed fans here in the Bay Area. Ann Cavello, another great star, is here watching this championship game. I saw her come in, blonde hair, dressed all in black leather leggings, lots of open space up the side, deep V, you know where. Here we go. Candy Jones in the jam for the Pioneers. Right with her, Rosetta Saunders, 36 for the Bombers. Saunders and Candy Jones on the play, and Saunders is decked in there. Now it's Tucker in pursuit and Saunders in pursuit, but Candy Jones has the lead with those two speed burners moving on her. Buddy Sr. on the track, urging her on, telling Candy Jones to pour it on, but they're catching her. There's a whip, and Saunders with the jump block puts her down. Tucker goes by and grabs the lead in the jam. Saunders was whipped up there. She put the jump block on Candy Jones. Then Tucker got the lead. Now Tucker's closed on the pack. She's in scoring position. Carol Penis-Meyer back there to try and help her score, to try and move on big Joni Weston. Here's a whip. Weston cuts in there, puts Tucker down, another whip in there. Weston ready, another block in there. Weston goes down, though. Tucker gets up, but Weston recovers in time. Another block on Tucker. Weston bounces off her, goes down, but Tucker cannot move in there for the point. Weston down this time, and Tucker scores. She's trying for more. She's got blocking, and she's got time. She hasn't got time. There was 2 points in there, though. 2 Bay Bomber points on the play. And the Bombers grab the lead, breaking that 17-17 tie. It's the Bombers 19 and the Pioneers 17 with 32 seconds to go here in the third period of play in the first half.
Well, you were mentioning Hal Janowitz and what he did with the Chicago Westerners. The girl out there on the track right now that remembers that quite well, she was with the Westerners at the time. That was Joni Weston.
That was a great club that they had. You know, they did a workmanlike job.
They did, and they did it with many skaters that were relatively unknowns, and it's much what Bud Atkinson Sr. is trying to do with the Pioneers right now, get 110% out of them.
And don't tell me you got in child prices. Well, that's the way it goes. Time runs out here in the third period. We have the fourth and exciting period to go yet in the first half, with the men coming on the track. And the Pioneers trailing by 2. It's up to the men to get them back in the game here. Don't forget, we'll have an interview at the end of the first half, and we'll have that last half of this championship game. This is the big one. So the score here at the end of the third period of play is the Bay Area Bombers 19 and the Pioneers 17.